reveal the flaws of these cars. A mainland Chinese industry insider made the following comment on the ongoing incidents and poor quality of electric vehicles.
Regarding the issue of cost-cutting in electric vehicles, today I dare to speak out about some of the current situations in the industry that everyone is aware of but reluctant to talk about. Here's my conclusion. Whether you believe it or not, from 2023 to 2026, these years will be some of the worst in terms of car quality and the most severe in terms of cost-cutting in decades. This video may touch on interests from many parties, and I'm unsure how long it will last. Some specific brands may be mentioned, but I'll try to avoid pointing them out. Let me start with the most crucial part, the chassis. This is a life-saving component. In the past, even Japanese brands like Toyota would go for 20 years, but now, with the price war, cars are sold at a 60 to 70% discount. How did they make money? It's simple, by continuously lowering quality standards.
This vlogger mentioned that a component originally designed for a 10-year lifespan has now been reduced to a 5-year standard. Users won't notice any issues after just a few test drives, or even after 1 or 2 years of use. But after 2 or 3 years, problems like suspension failure, rusting chassis, broken accelerator pedals, and power outages will start to appear. Even the air conditioning might release metallic aluminum powder which could be breathed in. He pointed out that at least 3 brands are doing this, and if you visit their after-sales service departments or their 4S stores, you'll see how long the repair queues are. Another hidden but critical issue is the reduction in quality of the various chips used in EVs. They control everything from smart driving to the intelligent cockpit. A smart car can have 2,000 to 3,000 chips. All vehicle operations are controlled by these chips, and any malfunction in one could be fatal. However, cost-cutting has made its way into these components as well.
The vlogger said, the chips used in cars must last at least 10 years, so they need to meet automotive-grade standards. But these chips are relatively expensive, so in the price war, many car manufacturers have opted for consumer-grade chips. For example, the chips used in smartphones and tablets are about 30% cheaper than automotive-grade ones, but they can fail after 3 to 5 years. If you're using Smart Drive on the highway and the sensors chip suddenly fails, causing sudden braking or acceleration, think about the consequences. A few days ago, a certain brand's automatic parking system had a massive malfunction, crashing into a wall. The manufacturer had to pay to settle the issue, and that's just parking. Imagine if a chip failure happened on the highway. The consequences are unimaginable.
The vlogger also mentioned that he's been working in the automotive industry for nearly 10 years. Due to his job, he knows a lot about the upstream supply chain, R&D, manufacturing, and after-sales services. For example, one EV brand's off-road model uses many parts in its chassis that were made to the lowest strength standards. The manufacturing process is also outdated and can't support the advertised off-road performance, which greatly increases the likelihood of failure. He added that this information is impossible to know online without connections within the factory. In fact, those who have worked in the industry for a long time would never let their friends or family buy certain brands of cars. When a car company suddenly slashes its prices, it's not always a good sign.
During these years of the electric vehicle price war, unless you absolutely need a car, it's better not to buy. For something that costs over 200,000 yen, for an average family, the cost of making a mistake is very high, and we'd be paying with our lives to make that mistake. If you must buy, first, try to wait at least 6 months before buying a brand new model, and let the first batch of users test its stability. Second, avoid buying the latest high-tech features that sound amazing. New technologies usually need at least 3 years for validation, but many car manufacturers now simulate everything on computers, and they can finish it in just a few months. Those who understand will know what I'm talking about.
Veteran analysts say that 6 months ago, after Xiaomi's major incident, Lei Jun was still able to hold on, maintaining his image as the marketing genius without much damage. But after another serious incident, although the severity was not as great as the first, the marketing reaction was much stronger, and Lei Jun's public persona collapsed. This reflects a major turning point for China's new car makers. The fact that leading car reviewers have been banned across the internet highlights the authorities' anxiety about these car makers. The root cause of all this are the significant safety risks caused by cost-cutting, which are likely to explode on a large scale, possibly as early as 2026.
On December 6, a fire erupted at a parking lot in Baiyun District, Guangzhou. A new energy vehicle spontaneously caught fire while parked, quickly spreading across the area. Intense flames and explosions filled the scene. The fire affected more than 90 square meters. A video captured nearby cars moving in reverse to avoid the flames, with some vehicles moving automatically due to electrical issues. The situation became chaotic, with bystanders screaming in panic.
这是一台新能源卡车，爆炸的程度。
This explosion from the electric truck was as powerful as a small bomb. If you ever see one of these trucks on fire, stay far away. It's dangerous.
这他妈咋弄的？我操！
The fire's already at the back. Don't open the door. My bag's still inside.
This is terrifying. The explosions are still going off. I can't get near. That car's moving by itself. Is there anyone inside? No, it's out of control. It's sliding on its own. Has anyone called 119?
As Chinese-made new energy vehicle batteries age, experts predict a surge in spontaneous combustion incidents between 2026 and 2027. This trend seems to be starting earlier than expected. On December 7th, a similar incident occurred in Jinan, Shandong, where multiple new energy vehicles caught fire in a parking lot. The fire spread quickly, damaging several vehicles, leaving some reduced to their frames. Fortunately, the fire did not reach the residential floors above. The aftermath was striking. Many charred vehicles were left parked outside for cleaning. The explosion also disrupted the area's water supply, forcing the use of emergency water vehicles. This fire highlighted persistent concerns about new energy vehicle safety and parking lot fire risks. As a result, many underground parking lots now prohibit new energy vehicles.
完了呀，刚买的新能源。
Now they won't let new energy cars in the basement. What do we do?
买了新能源电车开回家，结果物业
I bought a new energy car, but now the residential complex won't let me park it there. Many residential neighborhoods have posted notices banning EVs. It's not just communities. Hotels, hospitals, and museums are also banning them from underground garages due to the risk of spontaneous combustion. New energy vehicle owners feel unfairly treated. They invested in expensive homes and parking spaces, but now their vehicles are being turned away from the same garages where fuel cars park freely. A vlogger sarcastically posted, "You high-end, classy electric cars. It's just us regular car owners who aren't worthy of parking with you in the basement." Government policies influence the situation faced by new energy vehicle owners. Over the past decade, China's new energy vehicle industry has boomed. From its start in 2015, the market reached over 50% penetration by 2025, making China the world's largest market. This rapid growth was fueled by strong policy support and large subsidies aimed at replacing traditional fuel vehicles with electric ones. However, experts have pointed out that this fast-paced development has exposed serious safety concerns, particularly regarding battery risks. Why do some foreign experts predict that China's electric vehicle batteries will face significant risks of combustion between 2026 and 2027? It's due to a combination of three factors that will converge by the end of 2025. The first factor is the simultaneous aging effect from widespread electric vehicle adoption. The first real wave of electric vehicle adoption in China occurred between 2020 and 2023, with many vehicles using first-generation large lithium-ion or lithium iron phosphate batteries. These batteries typically start to degrade after 3 years, and by the fifth year, the likelihood of thermal runaway significantly increases. Vehicles sold during the 2020 to 2021 boom will enter a high-risk period by the end of 2025. The second factor is the quality risks left by the intense price competition between 2021 and 2023. As subsidies were reduced or eliminated, manufacturers cut costs across the supply chain, using lower quality materials and shortening testing processes. These issues may not have caused immediate explosions, but will likely manifest over the next few years as batteries age and malfunction. The third factor involves the simultaneous peak of old cars, new cars, and retired batteries by the end of 2025. First, batteries from the 2020 batch will reach their retirement phase. The most dangerous time for these batteries is not during use, but during disassembly, transport, and recycling, when thermal runaway is more likely. The second life battery market will grow rapidly between 2024 and 2025, repurposing old batteries for energy storage or low-speed vehicles. However, this area is poorly regulated and presents high risks. Lastly, the battery supply chain is under strain as production ramps up. With many second and third tier suppliers entering the market, quality control is becoming inconsistent, increasing safety risks. These factors have led experts to warn that China's battery industry will face system-wide safety pressures from 2025 to 2026. In response to safety concerns, the Chinese government recently introduced stricter regulations. While these measures are substantial, many believe they're overdue, and it remains uncertain how effectively they can address past risks. Starting November 1st, China implemented the lithium-ion battery coding rules, requiring batteries to have traceable codes. This policy aims to clarify responsibility in case of a fire or explosion, reducing disputes between manufacturers and consumers. In addition, a new safety requirements for power batteries for electric vehicles standard will take effect on July 1st, 2026. This is seen as the most stringent battery safety regulation to date, ensuring that even if a battery experiences thermal runaway, the pack will remain non-flammable and capable of quickly alerting passengers to danger. Additionally, the new national standard also includes several mandatory tests. However, some critics argue that these new regulations implicitly acknowledge that electric vehicle batteries pose explosion and fire risks. A netizen commented, "The old standards didn't even require the battery to be non-flammable or non-explosive. So the fires we've seen were actually deemed acceptable under the old rules." Others asked, "Why is this only happening in 2026? It's too late. How many lives will be lost before then?" Some pointed to tragic incidents, like the highway fire that killed 3 students, sparking outrage. Some netizens also pointed out deeper issues within the industry. Since the new standard can ensure that the battery doesn't catch fire or explode, it shows that the technology is achievable. Car manufacturers, in order to lower costs, are unwilling to implement it. They are essentially gambling with consumers' lives. The new regulations will require battery pack designs to be upgraded, adding protection and improving thermal management, increasing costs by 15 to 20%. Larger manufacturers may find it easier to comply, while smaller ones could struggle to survive. The market is now focusing on 4 battery types: lithium iron phosphate, ternary lithium, semi-solid, and solid state. After the new regulations, the type of battery will become an important factor for consumers when purchasing vehicles. For consumers, the new regulations will likely increase battery costs by 40 to 60%, with car manufacturers either absorbing the cost or passing it on. This could lead to higher prices, especially for electric vehicles priced under 100,000 yuan, which are the primary battleground for price wars. China's car manufacturers are known for their aggressive pricing strategies, and while they may reduce costs in other areas, the overall trend still points toward rising prices. Despite these safety measures, the reputation of domestic new energy vehicles remains tarnished. According to recent data, sales in November were disappointing, signaling ongoing challenges for the industry. On December 8th, the China Passenger Car Association, CPCA, reported that retail sales in November were just 2.2 million units, a decrease of 8% from the previous year and 1% from the month before. Thus marks 2 consecutive months of decline, with the drop becoming more significant. CPCA Secretary General Dong Shu-cui commented, "It's rare to see such a month-on-month decline in November." BYD, Geely, and Volkswagen still leads the sales rankings, but both BYD and Volkswagen saw year-on-year drops. BYD's sales dropped by 26.5%, while Volkswagen's fell by 6.5%. Other companies like Chery, Chang'an, SAIC Volkswagen, and Toyota saw even sharper declines, all over 20%. BYD's sales have now fallen for 3 consecutive months. marking a troubling trend for a company long known for leading the new energy vehicle market. BYD chairman Wang Chuanfu admitted in a shareholder meeting that the company's domestic sales had dropped, attributing this to a weakening technological edge and issues with slow charging in cold weather. Industry experts predict the market will remain stable or slightly negative in December, with weak consumer sentiment being the main factor. The real challenge, however, will come in 2026, when the purchase tax for new energy vehicles shifts from full exemption to a 50% reduction. While the latest inventory warning from the China Automobile Circulation Association shows that over 80% of dealers are pessimistic about their business performance in November, with only 8.2% expecting improvement in December. Rumors are circulating that new energy vehicles could be excluded from the 15th five-year plan, which covers the years from 2026 to 2030, signaling a potential shift back to oil-powered cars. However, these rumors have not been confirmed. Some argue that these changes reflects a shift from aggressive market expansion to quality improvement,